Hi everyone, and welcome to February's Plan With Me. We are starting off by putting in the Oops Daisy calendar tab. I've actually set myself a bit of a challenge this month to only use 2 sets of pens. So everything that is black is going to be the STA fine liner pack, which is a really good value pack of pigment liners, and then everything that is colourful is a Crayola super tip. My theme for February is paper planes, which I later turned into love letters. This is my splash page, and I'm just lettering out the quote, which is logic will get you from A to B, imagination will take you everywhere. Crayola Super Tips are essentially children's pens, but they work really well for calligraphy. The STA liners come in various thicknesses, and there's a brush pen in the pack. I'll be honest, I wasn't fussed on the brush pen, but the liners are brilliant and they're an economical option if you don't want to fork out for the pigment microns. When I do calligraphy, I always put a grey drop shadow in. I usually use a paler grey, but I was using the grey that was in my pack of super tips, and then I go back in with a fine liner in black just to make the letters stand out a little more. It's probably a little bit extra and excessive for nothing more than a bullet journal, but as a calligrapher, this kind of stuff makes me very happy. We're now going to add in the little flight lines, which really does bring this page together. And then finally a little heart. Oh, sorry, no, got to put in the drop shadow on February. My lines are very wonky on that one, and I just did not like the brush pen. There's the heart that turns this into a love letter. So we are now onto the monthly spread. As I said in last month's Plan With Me, I'm not a big fan of rulers, so this time around I just haven't bothered. I outlined the calendar grid with a 0.8 fine liner, and then the lines in the middle are done with a 0.3. February is super satisfying because it starts on a Monday and it ends on a Sunday. Because we are still in lockdown where I live, I have ditched my monthly timetable, which hasn't changed from last month, in favour of using the bottom half of the page as my stress tracker. So what I'm doing here is drawing 28 paper planes, and each day I will colour in a paper plane with the stress level that I felt that day. You could do this as a mood tracker, so you could have a colour assigned for a mood for the day. You could have it as a steps tracker, see how many steps you've taken that day. Even a water tracker, make sure you're drinking the amount of water that you should be. So I'm adding my decorative paper plane with a love heart on the top, and using a kind of brush lettering with a Crayola to write in February. I'm not going to do a drop shadow on this February, I'm just using the fine liner to outline. The column that is going down the right hand side is my monthly task list. I'm sure everyone has certain tasks that have to be done every single month. Sometimes things crop up once every 2 or 3 months. This is a really good place to write those things down so that you can then allocate them to a week. It could be that there are bills that need to be paid, certain tasks around your home that need to be done. But it's a really good place to write those things down. Now, I usually use a grey liner for those lines, but this one is very, very dark. So I've actually cheated on my weekly layouts, and I've used one extra pen, and it's a Tombow dual brush pen because it is pale enough that I can do my guidelines. This is my first weekly spread, and I've actually decided to keep the same layout for all 4 weeks of February. Going down the left hand side are my days of the week, which is where you will put down any events or appointments. And then I have a section for filming, a section for editing, a section for my task list. So I do a weekly task list rather than a daily. There's that brush pen I was telling you about. And then I also have a section for kind of notes of the week. What I've done is each week will be laid out slightly differently in terms of whether it touches the bottom of the page or the top of the page, but the strip that is left at the top or the bottom will have one paper plane in it and then a little dashed line. In terms of timings, each one of these pages for the weekly layout took me about 12 or 13 minutes to set up. Now, I do all of mine at once at the start of the month, but I know plenty of people who set up their week on a Sunday afternoon, ready for the week ahead. And maybe instead of having a column for filming and editing, you might have a column for some notes for next week. So for those people who say that they couldn't possibly bullet journal because it's going to take up way too much time, remember that certain spreads can take you less than 15 minutes to set up, and you don't have to be an artist to do these kind of things. Paper planes are so simple to doodle. If you want a little tutorial as to how to draw one, do let me know, because I don't mind doing that. But they're super simple. Adding these little dashed flight lines will fill up a page. One of the biggest tips that I can give all bullet journalers is to sketch things out first. I use a mechanical pencil, which then doesn't show up that well when I'm filming, which is great, and then just trace over the top of it. You can use things to kind of trace over to make your artwork. If you have an iPad or a tablet, you can actually use it almost like a light box, so that you can draw something that you wouldn't necessarily have the skills to draw freehand. And remember that there are some amazing websites on things like Etsy, even eBay, where you can just pick up stickers. So if you fancy having a journal that looks fancy, you can pick up journal stickers, you can pick up journaling templates that will make your life so much easier, that if you are feeling completely uncreative, you can find things that will help you get an aesthetically pleasing bullet journal without you having to become an artist. This is my final week of February, and I'm sure you're probably sick of seeing the same thing over and over again now. And then finally, we do the notes page, and unfortunately my camera decided to stop filming as soon as I finished this final week, which was slightly devastating as I absolutely love this notes page. So here's a picture of it. Paper planes at the top, little flight line with some hearts around it. I think that just looks so pretty. So here's our final flip through. Thank you so much for watching today. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you next time. Thanks very much.